So good morning everyone. So my name is Donna Maricia Parisha and I am the first discussant for today. So our topic for today is all about Constructivism, knowledge construction, concept learning, the module 14. So I believe Constructivism was mentioned last meeting by the previous discussant. And when we say Constructivism, it is a theory of how humans generate knowledge and meaning from an interaction between their experiences and their ideas. So basically, Constructivism focuses on knowledge construction, how an individual constructs their own knowledge. Okay, so this theory is based on knowledge, a type of learning in which the learner forms or constructs match with what he or she learns or comprehends. So in the learning, Constructivism is a view of learning based on the belief that knowledge isn't a thing that knowledge isn't a thing that can be simply given by the teacher at the classroom to the students, at the front of the room to the students. Meaning, knowledge is not simply given by the teachers. The teacher not necessarily feed the students of all the information to the learners. Rather, the learners construct their own knowledge. The learners build and create their own meaning and knowledge. Okay, I have here a quote by William Butler Yeats Reed. Okay, says here, teaching is not about filling up the pail. It is about lighting a fire. This quote explains that teaching is not about filling up the pail. It's not about transmission of information is not about the teacher will only feed the students all the necessary information. It's not about passive learning. When we say passive learning, the students only receives information without any engagement. So it is about lighting a fire. When we say lighting a fire, it is about the student's engagement to the lesson, his own exploration and discovery. Okay, so Constructivism have these two views of Constructivism. We have the individual Constructivism, social Constructivism. We also have the characteristics of Constructivism and organizing knowledge. So let's tackle first the first view of Constructivism, which is the individual Constructivism. So this view is also called cognitive Constructivism. So it emphasizes individual internal construction of knowledge. So this view is largely based on Piaget's theory. Diba ang Piaget theory, it focuses on the child's learning from infancy to adulthood. Piaget's theory have these 4 cognitive stages. Okay, so this view believe that learners should be allowed to discover principles through their own exploration rather than direct instruction by the teacher. So the teacher will let the students to explore and discover on things. So this is basically an indirect instruction. Kaning view focuses on indirect instruction. Okay. So next we have social constructivism. So opposed to the individual constructivism, this view emphasizes that knowledge exists in a social context, initially shared with others, instead of being represented solely in the mind of an individual. So this view is based on Lev-Vygotsky's theory. So this is a conditions of knowledge is shared by 2 or more people, because this belief that social knowledge exists in a social context and is initially shared with others. So this displays the opportunity to interact and share among learners, help to share and refine their ideas. So the knowledge becomes social, not individual. So next we have the characteristics of constructivism. I will give the floor to Miss Armelin Gaza.
Good morning again, everyone. So I am assigned to discuss the characteristic of constructivism. So there are four characteristics of constructivism. These are: learners construct understanding, new learning depends on current understanding, learning is facilitated by social interaction, and meaningful learning occurs within authentic tasks. So first, learners construct understanding. Learners are active thinkers who interpret new information based on what they already know. So we, the learners or the students, are active thinkers. We just not only passively receive the information, but actively build our own knowledge based on our existing understanding and experience. So this works from our prior knowledge, interaction with information, cognitive processes, meaning making, and vision and refinement. So this process is continuous and ongoing, allowing learners to build increasingly complex and nuanced understandings over time. So next is new learning depends on current understanding. So background information is essential to understanding new things. So think of your current understanding as a foundation. New learning is like building a new floor on top of that foundation. If the foundation is weak or flawed, what happened to your new floor? So it might be unstable or even collapse. So imagine you're learning about the basic solar system. So if you already understand basic concepts like gravity and orbit, learning about the planets will be easier and more meaningful. Next is learning is facilitated by social interaction. So we agree on this learning is facilitated by social interaction. So constructivists believe in creating a community of learners within classrooms. So we the learners are not isolated, but rather than we learn and grow within the community. So example of this is a classroom discussion, group study, and making projects, and many more. Next is meaningful learning occurs within authentic tasks. So an authentic task is one that involves constructive knowledge and understanding that is so akin to the knowledge and understanding needed when applied in the real world. So when learners see the relevance of what they are learning to their own lives or real world problems, they more likely to be engaged and motivated to learn. So it will also develop the learners' deeper understanding and critical thinking skills on how they connect to the real world. So that was all the characteristic of constructivism. So now I will give the floor to Mr. Ingat.
Good morning once again. Moving on, let's talk about the organizing knowledge. So what is a concept? A concept is a way of organizing or categorizing objects or events in our minds to help us understand the world around us. So concepts are general notions derived from specific instances or observations, and they are used to group similar things together based on shared qualities or features. So an example of this is the concept of teach. So the concept of teach is a general idea that involves group of tasks such as discuss, illustrate, explain, and etc. So we have here three types of concepts. So first, we have concepts as feature list. So what is a feature list? A feature list is a set of defining attributes or characteristics that help us identify or categorize an object. So there are two types of feature lists, which are the defining feature and correlational feature. Defining feature is a characteristic present in all instances. They are also called necessary features because they are the essential characteristics that something must have in order to be considered a member of a specific concept. Like, for example, a triangle. The defining feature of a triangle is that it has three sides. For example, the triangle. A triangle's defining feature is that it has three sides. So kung ang usa ka shape wala siya ning kung ang usa ka shape na ay four side, so dili na siya ma-consider na triangle because a triangle has the defining feature nga it has three sides. And next we have the correlational feature. A correlational feature is one that is present in many positive instances but is not essential for concept membership. These are features that are typical or common in many instances of the concept, but they are not necessary for something to be considered a member of a certain concept. Like an item can still be considered a member of that concept even without some features. Like, for example, being a loving mother. Being loving is a feature commonly present in present in the concept of a mother, but a mother may not be loving. So being loving is a correlational concept and not a defining concept. Yeah. So next we have concepts as prototypes. So a prototype is an idea or a visual image of a typical example. Prototypes are the most common examples of a concept. Like, for example, if you think of a cat, most probably ang imong ma-visualize is kanang cat nga naa sa atong balay or kanang cat nga gray baron or orange or kabang, because a prototype is that is the most common example of a concept nga imuhang na-encounter. Then next we have exemplars. Sorry, next. Okay, exemplars. Exemplars represent a variety of examples. So, exemplars are real-world examples of a concept that are stored in memory, and the categorization depends on the similarity of the new example to multiple examples that have been encountered over time. So, an example of this is the concept of a dog. So, an exemplar might be a specific dog breed you have seen, like Aspen or Golden Retriever. But when you encounter a new type of dog, like say a bulldog, you compare it to the other dogs that you have encountered before to determine if they belong to the dog concept. So next we have schemas and scripts. So a schema is an organized body of knowledge about something. It is a cognitive framework that helps organize and interpret information. It is based on prior knowledge and experiences, which allows individuals to understand new information in relation to what they already know. So, for example, a schema of a dog includes features like 4 legs, a tail, and barking. When a child sees another type of dog, the schema helps them recognize that dog, when a child sees another type of dog, the schema helps them recognize it as a dog. So a script is a type of a schema, a special type of schema that includes a series of predictable events about a specific activity. So example would include knowing what happens at the beginning of the class when the teacher arrives. So we can predict what will happen when the teacher arrives, like greet si teacher, mag-prayer, and so on and so forth. So that is a script. It's a type of schema that includes a series of predictable events. So that is all about the organizing knowledge.